Hello, my name is Carmack, and in today's After Effects tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how I made these burning folder animations from Michelle Carre's latest YouTube video. So in this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to make anything burn up with this stylistic look. Whether it's a folder, a photo, or anything, this effect can burn anything to the ground. Before we get into this fiery goodness, I've got to let you know that this video is sponsored by Squarespace. So to start, we're going to go up to Layer, New and Solid, and we'll just make a black solid, and we'll call it Burn. In our effects and presets panel, we'll type in fractal, and we're gonna grab the effect called fractal noise. This is one of the best plugins ever, so versatile. Listen very closely. You have to come up here to the project settings and turn the contrast to 500. We want the whites to be super white and the blacks to be super black because we're ultimately gonna use this as a luma matte. So what's white is gonna be shown and what's black is gonna disappear. And now once you get something that looks a little bit like this, in the effect controls, we're gonna go to brightness and change it to like 200 where everything is super white. And we'll start at the beginning of the timeline and create a keyframe for brightness. If we go over 5 seconds, we can bring the brightness down to 0 so everything is now black. Oh, not 0, it looks like negative 241. If we scrub through this, you can see what's happening here. So we get this great texture. And now our next step is we're gonna add a curves effect to this. And we kind of want to get rid of all these sort of white edges. We want the edges to be a lot harder. So we're going to crank it down to be kind of dark. And so now that we've added these curves effect, the edges are a lot harder. Before they look like this, a little fuzzy, but now they're way sharper. And trust me, this is more conducive to like a burning texture. And you can play around with like the sub-scaling settings in the effect controls until you get kind of like the sharp texture that you want. So I'm gonna pre-compose this and I'm gonna name this burn texture. And I'll bring in this folder design that I made for Michelle's video. And just to show you guys how this is gonna work, I'll grab this large scale folder and you'll see in the layers panel, this track matte, we're going to attach this to the burn texture. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna click this again so it's a luma matte. And so now the opacity of this folder is only showing where it's the widest. And because the burn texture is slowly turning dark, that means the entire folder is slowly disappearing like this. And so this is what that looks like. So that's just a little tease, but we actually have to do something extra right now. So you see in the video, the outline of the burn actually has these glowing edges. And I'm gonna show you how we get just those fine edges glowy. So this is super, super important. Let's reveal this on our project. We're actually gonna duplicate our burn texture, okay? So we're gonna open up this burn texture in a brand new composition. Let me just pre-compose this again, because this is super important. We're gonna duplicate this burn texture, and what we're gonna do is in the effects and presets, we're gonna do the find edges effect under stylize. And we're going to put this on this top layer, and in the project manager over here, we're gonna set it to invert. So now everything is black except where the edges of this animation are gonna go. Now this is super cool. So if we take our original fractal noise layer and we do a track matte to this find edges and we set it to a luma matte, now this animation is only the edges of the burn. So we'll pre-compose this and we're gonna name this burn lines. We are going to right click on this and reveal it in the composition so we can hop back into our original one, this one here, and we'll drop this on top of everything. So now what we're doing, let's link the large folder to the burn texture again and set it as a luma matte. So it's gonna disappear as everything gets darker. And now we're gonna set the burn texture lines on top of that as well. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the track matte to link it just to where the folder is. And so now this is what this looks like. It looks pretty crazy, but this is where the fun part comes. We can take the burn texture right here and we'll go to effects and presets and we'll type in fill. So now our lines are just red. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna come up to fill and then change it to like orange. Something kind of like this. That looks funny, but here's where it's gonna be cool. I'll set the background dark so it makes more sense. What I'm gonna do is now on this one layer that's literally just the outline of the burn, I'll come up to effects and presets and I'll type in deep glow. Right now it looks a little weird, but that's just because we need to bring down the radius and it's so the glow isn't overtaking the entire folder. And you just mess around with the glow below in the radius until it's how you would want it to look. Really quick, I'm just gonna point out that there's actually a better effect than fill. This effect right here called tritone lets you make a layer 3 different colors based off the highlights, midtones, and shadows. So I actually changed my highlights to basically almost white, and I changed my midtones to orange and my shadows to like a lighter yellow. So for example, I'll zoom in close to the burn lines. This is with tritone, and this is with fill. So fill gives you this thick orange line, but tritone actually gives you like 3 colors. This gives it a little bit more detail. So when you put the deep glow on there, you can see that there's like white glow, orange glow, and yellow glow, which just looks better in my opinion. One thing I just did that I really liked is I turned this layer that's just the lines to screen, which screen makes everything a little bit brighter, and I feel like this looks really nice and blends in way better. And now for the final touch that really sells this burn effect is if we isolate the folder layer and come up to effects and presets, we can type in the effect burn, and there's this great effect called burn film that we'll put on this folder. And when you turn up the burn film effect, this is what you get. And so this is gonna make the folder look like it's burning while it's actually burning on the very top. So we'll apply burn film to this folder, and what we'll do is we'll see where all the burning starts to happen at first. So I'll crank up the burn to see where it's burning, and I'll grab the center tool and I'll move it right here. And you can play around with the random seed until you get a spot that you think looks really good. And what we'll do is we'll keyframe burn from 0 to the point where it's completely disappeared. We'll crank up the burn like this. And now your folder is burning away and the outlines are even burning. Like, that's such a cool touch that the outline of the burn is glowing. And this is such a good effect because it's completely customizable. Like, I can change the outline of the burning lines to be orange or any color I want. And then I can even go back into the burn texture. I can change how the burn looks based off of like the scaling settings of fractal noise. So I hope that tutorial makes sense. This is a really clever and creative way to make an asset in a video that you're making disappear while having glowing lines. That is how you burn folders and make really cool assets for a Michelle Carre video. I hope everyone likes this tutorial and learned something unique and interesting. Leave any questions in the comment section below. And now I'd like to thank today's sponsor and my sugar daddy, Squarespace. From online stores to marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace is your best option for making a website. If you want an incredibly customized and personalized website, well, you're in luck because with Squarespace's new design system, Squarespace Blueprint, you'll be able to select from professionally curated templates. So you'll be able to pick a design that is good for your vibe or brand. And with their optimized SEO tools, you'll be able to get discovered way faster and way easier. And let's say you're a business person and you've got products you want to sell. And with Squarespace's flexible payments, you'll be able to accept every form of currency, Apple Pay, credit cards, PayPal. You'll even be able to use pay later features. So your online store can sell your goods and you'll be able to make it as convenient as possible for your customers. And lastly, if you don't want to rely on just the professionally designed templates that Squarespace offers, Squarespace's Fluid Engine lets you edit and customize from your launching off point. So you can use one of these templates as your starting point, and then from there, use all of the incredible editing tools that Squarespace offers for you to make every page look exactly how you like. And everybody, the best part is I got you a discount code. So if you go to squarespace.com/willcarmack, you'll be able to get 10% off your first website or domain. Thank you for sponsoring this video, Squarespace. I hope you all check them out. And don't forget, where there's a will, there's a way. My name is Will, and have a nice day.